From Nashville, Tennessee, inside the Noize podcast with your host, Jenna Hydeman. Here's Jenna.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie Kalp and
Jenna Hydeman.
And you guys are listening to Inside the Noize. This week we have the Bus Call guys.
Woo!
Bus Call Nashville's in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you guys doing? Introduce yourselves.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Justin,
I'm John.
and we run Bus Call.
And that's their names. That's it. Just Justin and John.
That's
There's
all you
no
need to
last
know.
names. There you
Jay
go.
Braltz,
Jay Braltz.
Jay Sepulveda.
Johnny Diamond is what I call myself on the streets, but you know,
Splendid.
Johnny what?
Johnny Diamond.
Johnny Diamond.
It's my hip hop name.
Who's ever called you that?
No, it's
The
not a
shade
thing.
that just happened. No one's
Yeah.
ever called you that.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, okay. So can you guys give us a little background on Bus Call? How did it start?
Yeah,
Where's it
of course.
at?
Justin, take the reins on this one.
Yeah, so, all right, it goes way back. I mean, back to 2014.
Wow.
So
4
I
years.
started
5.
this, no, 2015. I started this thing called Writer's House here in Nashville. And it was at my house in Brentwood where I would get 10 to 12 singer-songwriters together at my house every Tuesday. And we would just write songs. I'd break them up into groups of 3. We usually try to have like a writer, a musician, and a vocalist in one group. And we just sit there and write for 3 hours, drink and eat, and it was just fun. And we did that for about a year. And then my girlfriend was like, hey, you should start this writer's round and turn this into a writer's round. I was like, I don't want to do that. I kind of like how intimate it is. I was really into songwriting. I was really focusing on that, not like being an artist or anything like that. So I was just like, that was my passion at the time. And then I just, we ended up stopping it for like 6 months, and I just kind of like didn't do anything else with it. But then I was grocery shopping one day, and my boss at Tin Roof, his name's Morgan, he was like, hey man, I think you're ready to start your, this writer's round. And I was just like, well, yeah, because we had been talking about doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I really need help on Wednesday nights at Demonbruen. It's like, it's bad. And I was like, all right, well, that's cool. I've been thinking about this idea for a while, and I think it's perfect for Wednesday nights. And if you're a musician, you'll know the term bus call.
Right.
It's kind of exclusive because people that aren't in the music industry don't know that term, or they say, what does that mean? What does bus call mean? And you have to explain it to them, which I think is kind of cool.
Right, which bus call is obviously when you go and like that night or whatever.
And
bus
it's
calls
usually
a certain
in town,
time.
like we're weekend warriors here in Nashville, where everybody leaves on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So Wednesday nights is usually bus call for everybody.
Which is ironic.
So the
Like
concept
2
is,
a.m.
yeah.
or 11 p.m. or something like that. It's you go to your bus call.
So that was the whole, like when he
and I can't
came up with it.
tell
it was,
you how many times people have gotten so confused because I'd be like, oh, I'm going to bus call. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, who are you going on the road with? And I'm like, Justin Braltz.
I'm just going right down the
I'm
road.
like, Tin Roof, Demonbruen.
Yeah, so the idea was just kind of like, hey, I was talking to Morgan about this, and I was just like, I love this term bus call. I think we should, back in the day, Tin Roof, Demonbruen was where everybody came before they left for bus call. Like, before those apartments across the street on Demonbruen, across the street from Tin Roof were there was a big dirt parking lot.
How long have you guys been in Nashville?
I remember that.
You remember the
remember
dirt?
that?
You remember the dirt road?
Years.
Yeah.
And you're 3.
So everybody would
parked
come
there.
and park their bus,
Mhm.
and then they would party at Tin Roof, and then they'd get on their bus, hammered, and pass out
There
and
you
go to
go.
their first gigs on the weekend. So anyways, I wanted to bring that back, you know what I mean? And so I pitched it to the CEO and Morgan, my boss, and I told them that, what it was going to be called Bus Call, and they were thrilled. So that's pretty much how the name started and how it originated at Tin Roof. And then it was just kind of asking around my singer-songwriter friends if they wanted to come out, and a lot of them were like, I've never played with a band before, or I've never played out like in this setting. And I was just like, well, it's cool, man. We know a bunch of musicians. Build a band, and then we'll showcase you. And 99% of them just absolutely killed it for this that first month, the first couple months, and it's just been a real blessing. And then now, after like 3 months, it was really just a bunch of people, just kind of texting me, messaging me, and being like, "Hey, man, I'm interested." And in the beginning, I took a chance on a lot of people, and they just followed through, and it was just incredible. And today, it's just blown out of proportion, and it's awesome to see that we started a craze here in this great city, and able to showcase amazing artists that don't get a chance to in this town.
And in less than a year, you guys
in
haven't
less
been.
than a year.
I mean, I went to the first bus call. I remember there was like maybe 30 of us. There was like solid group of people.
Sure we had 7 bands, and think about this: 7 bands. There's probably like 4 or 5 people in the band. It was 35 people there that was like just standing watching each other.
Literally, and now it's like standing like there's no room at all every single week.
Some of the nights we've done have just been insanity. I mean, the takeover you did for Halloween.
Yeah, I did a Halloween takeover.
They were telling us the year before the Tin Roof that there was like 4 people at the bar.
I was there a lot because that's why I was nervous. Remember, I kept going to you guys. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get all these snacks, and I was literally at Walmart like 2 hours before, and I was like, hey, Justin, I just got all these snacks and stuff like that, decorations. I don't know. He's like, oh, I just went to Walmart. Like, we're passing each other, whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I spent $200, so I hope everything like goes, or like I hope this goes well, because you never know. Like when you like put a lot of time and energy. I mean, you guys know what Bus Call that you're hoping that your baby does well, but if it's a holiday too, like a big holiday.
Yeah, and it's our first year, so you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? And just being, I've been a bartender for Tin Roof for 4 years. I'm not bartending anymore, but I've seen it years to come, and it's been dead. Yeah. And I was kind of very afraid of that. You know what I mean? But
for sure.
It was so
literally
funny. Like,
I think we all
the managers got called in that night because it was so busy, and they were looking around. They were like, "Holy crap, this is crazy! This is absolutely insane." And so I was just like, "Sweet, cool."
And how did John come into the situation, the dynamic?
John's been my best friend for...
We were 15 when we met.
Yeah, we were 15.
Fetuses!
So I was like a really shy kid growing up, but my brother, who's older than me, is just over the top, performer, singer, dancer, all that stuff. And so he was a senior in high school. I was a sophomore, and he was auditioning for the musical. Okay. And so we had to share a room growing up. We were raised by a single mom, so we shared a room growing up. So he used to listen to the audition tape, and I was, doing homework or reading or whatever I was doing, and I would listen to the songs. And so I learned the songs, and I was like, hey, Mom, can you take me to audition for the musical? And she's like, oh, you want to audition for a musical? I was like, yeah. She's like, well, you have to sing for me. I'm like, I'm not going to sing for you. And I sang for her, and she said I was good, so she took me, and I was literally the last person to audition for the musical. I got in, and it was Seussical the Musical was the one that we did. So it was a musical based on Dr. Seuss. And we were the Jungle of Newell with like Horton Hears a Who. So we were all animals. I was a bird and he was a giraffe.
I was a snake.
Oh, you were a snake. That's right. You were.
I was gonna say you would be a giraffe.
He's a snake.
Justin's very tall for the listeners at home.
And that's what they put us together, and we were next to each other, and then just from rehearsals and stuff, we started talking, and just became good buddies out of it.
All day rehearsals, so we'd like just be next to each other all day, just
joking around. And he was like I was like a emo kid at the time, and he was like Abercrombie and Fitch. So it was like we were completely opposite.
Oh, please!
But we hit it off, and then
I got the rock necklace and everything.
The puka shell, whatever. You remember those
necklaces with like the visor?
Yeah. So we, I mean, we became best friends, and through a bunch of other buddies that we met in high school, we formed different bands. So we were always working together musically, and for a moment there, we had like a YouTube channel. Yeah. It was called Cable Box TV, so we used to do like a bunch of skits.
We did sketch comedy.
Yeah, so we've always been...
Check it out. It's
like helping. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's still up.
Oh yeah, it's up there. You should definitely check it out.
It's out there.
But yeah, I mean, we've always been involved in each other's lives as far as like entertainment wise or music or anything like that. And so I moved to Nashville 7 years ago, and he moved to New York, and so he wanted to. I don't even know what you were doing in New York.
I've always wanted to live there growing up
and
stuff. Yeah, in New York City. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be involved. And I was bartending, so it was just like, it was easy to just go up there, get a bartending gig, and survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was night and day up there, man. I was like, get me out of here as soon as possible.
He lived on Staten Island.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next to the ferry, though. So
I'm surprised you don't
that
have
doesn't
like
make
a
it
super
any better.
next to the ferry.
No offense to any Staten Islanders, but it was near the ferry, so it was like, and I mean, I did make friends on the island, but it was a cool place. It's like, it was half the rent, double the space. Why not,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So he pretty much, one day, called me, and he's like, hey, I'm moving back to Florida, which is where we're from. We're originally from Central Florida, small town called Apopka. And, dirty birds. But, so yeah, he called me one day, and he's like, hey, I'm going to move back to Florida. And I was like, dude, you don't need to go to Florida. There's nothing there for you. Come to Nashville. And he had never been to Nashville. I think he came once.
Yeah, I came once.
Yeah, and so he bought me a plane ticket. I flew to New York. We packed up his little what was it, like a 97 Camry or something like
my
that?
basement apartment.
And then just came to Nashville, and he's been here ever since. And so once he got started with Bus Call and stuff like that, he doesn't like talking in front of people. And so he pulled me on. And just from being in the industry, you know, the 7 years I've been here, I have a lot of connections and people that I know and things like that. So it really helped to kind of boost.
Plus, he's my best friend in the whole world.
And we like to hang.
It's more fun when you do it with your friends, you know.
Yeah, gives us a reason to hang out.
Well,
I
it's
guess you
good.
could
It's like
say.
good cop, bad cop. Like you guys have that thing going on. Like if you guys ever go to a Bus Call show, I mean, Jenna, you've been to a Bus Call show, but you were here Halloween.
Yeah.
You came to the Bus Call show.
Didn't you win the costume contest?
Yeah, our group did.
Our group
Were you the Cyruses?
We were.
Oh, no.
It was my idea. No one liked it.
But there's
They all
this,
did it.
there's this very, it's very hard to find that dynamic duo basically of like people, and you guys have definitely found it.
It was cool. It's like, you know, I do the behind the scenes stuff, all the important, you know, just kind of like some of the booking. Obviously, John is going to be taking over just because of my new job. He's going to be taking over a lot of that. And then he's like the face, you know, and he's who you see and who you listen to, and he's just a trip, you know, to listen to. So
I think I'm way funnier than I really am.
Oh, retweet me too.
Like some of my jokes,
get him a
some of my
too,
jokes catch.
Like, oh man.
Oh yeah,
it's
he was
gold.
pretty
It's
lit on
comedy
Halloween.
gold.
You were a pirate.
I was
on
a pirate,
Halloween.
yeah. And then what was he? Redneck, like
I don't
was
know.
Billy
What
Cyrus?
were you?
What were you?
I don't know.
Blake Shelton, something like that.
So I was supposed to be Blake
Yeah,
Shelton
I was
and
gonna
Grace.
say.
My girlfriend was supposed to be
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
Well, she had to work last minute, and she got called in, and I was like, no, I can't just go as Blake Shelton. Nobody's going to get that. I'm just going to look like a redneck. So I was just like, whatever. I'm going to do it anyway. So I came in as a redneck, but I
Yeah,
kind of
like a mullet.
cut off the sleeves of my flannel. And then kept the bolo tie and didn't wear a shirt underneath, and then had the mullet with no hat.
Yeah, he walked up to me and I was like,
You're
are you having a
like,
crisis?
I was like, this is actually a look. You
And I was
actually
like,
don't look
oh my
bad.
God,
The sad thing
Halloween.
is Apopka is pretty country, and I was this close to being that. So
Yeah.
He grew up in a trailer.
yeah, I did.
Hey.
Mobile homes, Oak Springs, baby. Woo woo. Sorry.
I hate when you ask if I have anything to ask because I might have, but then I get nervous.
Did we
I get
answer the question? I don't even know.
You
I
did.
don't.
I asked
I
how
think-
John came in, and you
Okay,
guys
cool.
got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, there's a lot of history between me and Justin,
Yeah,
so
we
we
could
could talk
go
about
on
it for
for days.
days.
Yeah, but that's no, but
We'll make
that's
this a 9
Have you
part
guys-
series.
honestly awesome.
Have you guys had any big fights yet?
No.
Oh, this. He
He
says
goes,
no,
no,
but this
he
one
goes,
time
no,
in
wait
downtown
for it.
Orlando. So Justin doesn't ever
I thought
really.
you were talking about Bus Call.
I was.
No, not with Bus Call, but no, as
is
friends.
our
This
line.
is a good one.
Wait,
This is a good
the
one.
tea. Okay,
So
now I
Justin
remember this.
Justin forgets how big he is. So Justin is 6'5".
Oh yeah.
So he's got big old banana hands. But him and his brothers are all the same size. They're all massive. I'm only 5'7". So
I'm
like
the shortest guy.
I'm much smaller than he is, and he forgets. So like this one time in downtown Orlando, we're drinking and having a good time, and him and his brothers do this stupid thing where they slap each other when they're drunk.
Just kind of like.
Yeah, just like hey,
not-
slap
like a
him. So
nice- not like a hard slap, like where I'm hurting you, but like it's just kind of like I love you guys.
now imagine that all
sometimes-
night though.
But sometimes
And
when
on
I'm
your
drinking,
face.
Exactly.
It's like
the size of my face. So he's doing that throughout the night, and it like by the time like end of the night, he did it one more time, and I got in his face. And it must have been the funniest thing. And I'm like, dude, you want to go? I'll go right now.
like,
Trying to like, I was like on my tippy toes trying to get at him.
bro.
So that was one fight we had.
But that was like one of the only fights.
Yeah, we don't really fight much.
That
But
was
like in Bus Call, no, we don't have any fights because at the end of the day, you know,
We have the same vision.
Yeah.
So we want the same things.
Yeah, you're a team.
we want
To come out
we
of it.
want to make it successful and
And it has been. It's been a crazy first year. I'll tell you that.
So when's your 1 year anniversary?
February
February
6th.
6th.
Yeah.
We started February 8th last year, so we're doing it the same week.
Which is cool. I've been working with, like you said, I took over booking and stuff like that. So I've been working on booking that show, and we have a great lineup so far. We have Hunter's playing, Tiny Davis.
Cool.
Eric Van Hout's playing. Ferrante's
Oh,
playing.
Regulars.
Gosh, all the boys.
Matt Still's playing. And
Matt
we
Still.
just got
Pray for you.
Fair and Rachel's is on.
Ooh.
So it's gonna be a big
Exclusive.
one.
And
Yeah, it's gonna be a big
We're still
one.
talking to one bigger artist, and we're
So cross my fingers.
we're
Hopefully
gonna
he comes
wait-
through
we
this
have to
week.
Wait till a couple more weeks to get a for sure answer, but we're hoping.
So we're hoping. Yeah, we're also hoping to partner with a foundation in town.
Awesome.
To make it a benefit show.
Get back.
we want to
so-
start doing that more too, because we kind of missed that opportunity last year, I think,
Mm-hmm.
on kind of helping out the community and getting other people involved. We did Toys for Tots for our last show
For
in
Christmas, yeah.
December. I think we had like a total of like eight or nine toys that were brought in, which was pretty cool. So.
I brought two.
What'd you
I
bring?
brought a little toy car. I brought 2 toy cars, I think. Something like that. I don't remember. I went to the store and I was like, I don't know, little kid needs this. And I was like, fuck.
Kids like cars, right?
I did it like very last minute though.
I hate to burst bubble, but I kept that.
That car's totally mine now.
That was really cool.
Oh man.
Okay, well, we missed it in the beginning because Katie likes to jump the gun.
Yes.
But we usually
always.
start with make some noise, stop that noise.
Mhm.
So a good
Okay.
week, bad week of like last week.
Last week.
I mean, last week was, post Christmas going into New Year, so we were actually back home in
Florida.
Central Florida, yeah. And I'll tell you right now, hanging out with your nieces and nephews and stuff like that, it's amazing, but it's the best form of birth control, I think, like available.
It's good for like the first 25
Yeah.
30 minutes, and then you're over it.
It's like, I don't understand kids, and it's not a good environment for me because I try to talk to them like people. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? They don't say words. And it's very annoying.
John would be that guy
I
that's like
laugh
holding the baby.
inappropriately.
Like, take it. I don't know to make it stop.
When the kids do something bad, I'm the one laughing, so they do it more.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it's funny.
But yeah, I mean, bad week. That was rough just being back home. Not to mention, I have a massive family, so having to try to see everybody, try to see the friends from back home. It was just a hectic week. And then I was really ready to get back to Nashville, so
Yeah.
that was my bad week, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I did get socks and underwear though for Christmas. I was very happy about that.
Same. We call that the bundle at my house.
Yeah.
We always get the bundle.
You get the bundle.
Socks, underwear, t-shirts.
There was like a meme that came out a few weeks before Christmas, and it was a pair of boxer briefs that were all ripped up and holy. And it said like, "Hold on, boys, you only got 3 weeks left.
Yeah,
You're almost there." So it's good to know that it's not just us
All of
that
your
just wait on
stockings.
that.
And the toe, especially. It's always in the toe of the stocking. There's always like socks or something. Something weird. Justin, what's yours?
So my bad thing was that we didn't have a bus call last week.
Boo.
I know.
I feel like though everybody was out of town. 'Cause
I
it's
know,
a-
but
Nashville's
I kind of wanted to keep it going, not miss a bus call or whatever, but whatever. The good thing though that happened, the make some noise, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Make some noises. My dog is finally potty trained.
Oh,
My
what kind of
puppy.
dog?
It's a Yorkie poo.
What is that?
His name is Walter.
He goes, it's a Yorkie poo.
His name's Walter.
Oh, that's a cute name.
So my girlfriend, she needed a hypoallergenic dog. I already have a dog that's not hypoallergenic, so she's very allergic to. And she wanted something to kind of snuggle with and pet it and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well, we get another dog. I'm a dog person, so I was just like, found this one that was looking for a home that they didn't want anymore, and it was just born, and they were like gonna take it to the pound, and I was just like, no. And so I drove like 2 hours south, 2 hours south of here.
Did you say that by yourself,
Yeah,
like in the room?
No, I was in front of my computer, and I was like, "No, look how cute he is!" And I was like, "I have to go get him." So I went and got him, and surprised Grace for our anniversary.
Oh.
Aw, so sweet.
He's tiny too. He's about this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
He's
is
only like
comical
8
because
pounds.
Justin's
He
about
has, like, exactly.
I stepped on him one time, and I thought I broke his leg.
You gotta show him the voice
I
that
was
you
so
do.
scared. What?
Show him the voice that you do for him.
I dig it, boy.
But it's funny. The higher he goes,
yeah,
the
yeah.
more excited he gets.
I can't do it.
That's a good boy. And he just like freaks out.
I feel like it's any dog.
That's how you get a reaction out of him, though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so he is like, so before Christmas, he would ruin like 4 rugs in our house, and then I was just like, all right, well, because he's trained on those little potty pads or whatever. And then when we got back from Christmas, he has like gone 50 times, and he's like 50 for 50 on the potty pad.
You guys
He
see how
just
proud he
wants
is?
that.
Look at that
And I'm
face.
like,
He's so proud of him.
Yes. Good job, buddy.
If you need more, I have a whole pack of them because Cotton
Oh,
doesn't
you do?
use them. Cotton literally.
Man, we go through them all the time.
I just got a puppy too, like last
Yeah.
month, and I did the same thing. I went to the pound. Oh, I hate saying pound. I went to the Humane Society,
Yeah, it's
and
not a pound.
I looked and I told my mom. My mom was like, "Oh my gosh, like you don't really need a dog," and I was like, "I have a house. I can have a dog." And I remember because I told her I was like, "Well, they were gonna kill him," and I sent her a picture of him, and you know what he looks like. He's a
So
teddy
cute.
bear. She's
He's a
like, "Yeah,
sloth,
they were
actually.
really gonna kill him, Katie. Like really."
He's a sloth.
And I was like, he literally, I don't know, he looks like a teddy bear. And I had all these big potty pads because I've grown up, I'm a certified vet assistant also. So,
Oh, cool.
I grew up raising dogs, and I'm like, they pee everywhere when they're puppies, like, you know. And so I bought all this stuff. It's like he came with no instructions, but already knew how to do everything.
Yeah.
So
what kind of dog is it?
He's a Newfoundland Terrier mixed with a Labrador.
So like
lab.
I have a lab pit bull, and literally she peed inside one time, stuck her nose in it, and I said no. She never did it again. It's like something with labs that like they just
weird.
get it. But these Yorkies, the worst.
I have a
They're
whole
like
thing for
one
you.
of the worst dogs to potty train. I looked it up too, and I was just like, they were like, yeah, these are really hard to train to go like
You're
potty
like,
like you got. I was just like, dang it. Oh well.
What was yours?
We got it though.
Yeah, you guys got something?
Make that noise step.
I got a new phone. I was on the iPhone.
Hey, me too.
I was on the iPhone 6 still.
Wow.
And it got
Success
so
over
bad
here, yeah.
that I had to like buy a Mophie and keep it plugged in at all times or it would just die within 2 seconds.
I know, I hate that.
So it was terrible. So I got a new phone. Really excited about it. Bad
Cool.
news is Dad kicked us off his phone plan for Christmas. I got home.
You
He
gotta
picked me up
pay.
from the airport and he said, "You need to go get your new phone this week and get your own phone plan." I was like, "So you mean like I had to put it on my card, or is it going back on
Like
yours?"
I have to spend my money?
That's
He's like,
hilarious.
"Yes, your card." And I'm like,
Who are you with?
"No, I got Verizon. I was with
Okay.
AT&T."
Oh, girl, T-Mobile. All the way.
I don't know,
We live in Nashville, guys. AT&T.
See,
Batman
T-Mobile.
building.
but
Come on. It's right
I had
there.
AT&T, and I would go over data each month, and it'd be like $15 for another gig, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
would use too many, and that's why I got kicked off the phone plan.
You gotta
So
get that unlimited plan.
I have unlimited with T-Mobile.
I now have unlimited
I've never had a
with
problem.
Verizon. I'll pay my first phone bill next month. It's fine.
You're like, it's fine. Here's my
It's
card.
fine. We actually put out my older sister's card because we voted she'll have the most money in her account at all times because she lives with her boyfriend and doesn't pay rent.
Oh, wow.
So we're like,
That's the only good thing about having a spouse.
see,
That,
well,
like, you guys split everything.
Hold on.
I'm not saying, like,
she
make
lives
the
with
other
her
person do it.
boyfriend, who her boyfriend lives in his parents' basement.
Mm.
Oh
So-
my God.
Wow,
You're
she's
so-
got
It's his
a winner.
apartment.
You're so putting your
His
sister on
apartment,
blast.
and those are his roommates.
She's got a real winner there.
So I actually went over and had a movie night and stayed with them. I'm like, look, guys, I'm part of the fam now too. You gotta stay with your parents.
Oh, gosh.
My
It's
goodness.
fine. It's fine.
That's fine.
What about
I
you,
don't-
Katie?
I don't know.
She never has a bad week because her life is just so good.
That's what I said when I
She's
walked in.
amazing.
But literally, like, I don't really have, I mean.
Every time she says this, you guys, I don't really have bad things.
Well, because
everything happens for a reason, and like.
Hey, she threw a
I did
badass.
this.
She threw a badass Christmas party
I
the
don't
other day. That was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, where were you, Justin?
Where? Christmas?
Yeah, it was her house.
It's at
Christmas
my
party?
house.
Yeah,
Yeah, Justin.
dude, everyone was there.
Literally, I had
Christmas or
350
New
people come through. Huh?
That's
Christmas or
Christmas.
New Year's?
Christmas.
Oh, in Florida?
No, it was up here. Were you in Florida all December?
Where was I?
I don't know. That's what I saw John, and I was like, "Where's Justin?"
Maybe John didn't invite me.
I definitely didn't invite you.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, my bad. I guess yesterday I rover sit, so like I watch dogs for like extra cash and stuff. And one of the dogs, like I was watching a dog in a girl's house, and like I had to go and like let it out 3 times a day, which I did. And the people weren't very specific on like how long the dog could be by itself. So the dog peed in the house. I didn't know though. It peed upstairs and like I didn't go through their house, so it peed upstairs like in the master bedroom. And I got this like really mean rover thing, and of course I cried
Was
because
it a
I'm like.
review?
It wasn't a review. It was just like a DM to me, and I'm waiting for them to review because I feel like they're going to, and they're gonna leave me a bad review, which I like when I can't. I get really upset if like, cause I'm a perfectionist, that like
Yeah.
if something drops the ball for something that I can't help, like
Yeah.
Same.
I took your dog out 4 times a day, not 3, but 4. Like you told me 3.
Yeah.
So when that stuff happens, and I'm like, cause now it's gonna reflect on me, and I don't want people thinking that
What do they expect? You're gonna go through their closets and stuff to check their carpets?
I don't know, but like he like sent me this really mean, and he was like she went not once but twice. We told you specifically, and I was like, well, first of all, you're supposed to leave like a detailed like thing. You didn't. You told me I couldn't stay in your house, which is what I would normally do. I would stay there and let him out when I went out in the morning and stuff. I get up at 5 a.m. every day, so that dog would have been out right away.
You get up at 5 a.m.?
Yeah,
I
I
don't even know
haven't-
what 5 a.m. looks like.
I haven't seen 5 a.m. in years.
I get up at 5 a.m. because I used to work at Goodwill, and my mom always told me that. Like, the earlier you wake up, the more successful you are.
What's that
which
book?
is just my thing in
There's
my
a
head.
book about
Wow.
waking up at 5 a.m.
About waking, you just get a lot done. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You
It's
do
way
get a lot
more
done.
productive. It's
Yeah.
about productivity.
like
and-
my first, so like I wake up, my first 2 hours is like me, like if I'm not going to the gym right away, is me just like laying in bed doing social media, which is what I do for my full-time job, and like checking everything, making sure everybody's stuff is going good, and then I'll go to the gym for like 2 to 3
If I woke up
hours.
at 5 a.m. and did that, I'd fall back asleep.
No.
I'd be like, well.
I don't know, but I also have a dog child now, so I have to like somebody else's life is in my hands,
Yeah.
so I have to like make sure that everything's Good. But yeah, that was my bad. And my good is just like we had a really good New Year's Eve. Oh, I didn't get a New Year's Eve kiss that I thought I was going to get.
Damn it.
That's another bad
That
thing.
was disappointing.
Gifts?
I was trying to push you.
Kiss.
I was like,
kiss.
go get your kiss now.
No. And another cool thing was I had a champagne tower at my New Year's Eve party.
Ooh.
And she had no hangover the next
Classy.
day.
Oh, and I had no
You know
hangover.
how
I don't
miserable
get
I was
hungover.
yesterday?
I was hurting pretty good too.
I drink a lot, and I don't really get hungover though, unless the only time I've ever been hungover was the week before that.
Yeah, that's
When
why I
we
asked
all-
you yesterday. I'm like, are
We
you
ended up
hungover
on
again?
Broadway at Coyote Ugly, and it was only 5 of us in the whole bar, and we were on the bar. And I do not remember. I just saw videos, and I was like, I was hungover for 2 days.
If it makes you feel better, I never remember going to Coyote Ugly
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
So-
yeah. But
I've
it was
been there
great.
once.
It was a
Oh,
Monday after
man.
Whiskey Jam, and we were just like there, and then 2 of my friends in from out of town, and we're like, yeah, let's just go to Broadway. No one's on Broadway. It was amazing. It was like
No one's there?
Disney World was closed down. It was great. And I was like, this is amazing. We went to Coyote Ugly, got on the bar, danced, whatever. And the next morning I woke up and I was like, I'm so like I got sick the night before. I got sick that day, and I was in I had 6 meetings on Wednesday. 2 days after I had gotten drunk, and I was like middle of a meeting at Fido, and I was like, "Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom," and did my business, and then went back to the
Wow.
meeting, and then canceled the rest of my meetings that day.
I can't believe you weren't hungover from New Year's Eve.
No, you left me though.
I did leave you. I went down on Broadway. I had friends from Illinois
That was
here.
a horrible idea.
It was a horrible idea. I stayed out till 4 a.m. And then yesterday I went over to a friend's for dinner, and they looked at me and they said, well, you're looking like shit today. And I was like, damn it, I thought I
Wow.
was.
You're like, thanks, and you look
It's
awesome.
5 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I thought I would beat this. Damn it.
What do you do anything like to pre?
I drank Defiance Fuel.
Okay, that's good. But did you put anything in it? Like, did you get any Pedialyte?
No, I hate
or-
Pedialyte.
See, that's your
Defiance-
problem.
no, Defiance
Advil,
Fuel-
Pedialyte.
No.
Have you noticed too that Pedialyte now like
Markets
promotes
towards-
towards like
Yeah.
adults?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing.
You go and it's like extra electrolytes, and it
It's
looks like a
life-changing.
Gatorade now
Yeah.
You
versus
be-
like having like a teddy
No,
bear on
I-
it.
I just-
right.
Yeah.
I believe in the Defiance Fuel. I drank like 5 of those before I went out.
Yeah, I love
But I
I
didn't
love
eat.
Defiance Fuel.
You know, you can save money with Defiance.
Have y'all ever tried like any of like those patches or anything that they offer?
Rally Patch. Have you
Yeah.
tried that? I tried a Rally Patch from Whiskey Jam, and
Do you
it,
believe in it?
I don't know because I don't get hungover. So
Listen,
Listen,
I'll
all
give
you
it a
need
try.
is 3 ibuprofen, a bottle of water,
hey, thank you. That's what I said.
Ibuprofen, bottle of
and
water.
then if you can eat something
Ibuprofen.
small, eat something small. Don't
I
eat
would
something big.
I would always also coat
That's
your
my-
stomach before drinking, just so that you don't get sick. Because I feel like that's why I had so much food at my you didn't come to my pre-party.
No, I didn't.
So we had alcohol and food at my pre-party, like a bunch of like hot pockets. We had the little Tostito rolls. We had
Nice.
taquitos.
You're so clutch with those pizza rolls.
Oh yeah, and I was like,
Because
okay,
the Christmas
pasta.
party, I was just destroying pizza
Oh,
rolls like the
Oh
whole
yeah,
time.
and everybody thinks it's so stupid when I do it, and then I'm like, but are you eating them? Yes,
Yep.
you are. And like I had a whole cookie tray. It was gone, demolished.
Oh yeah,
That was John,
that was
sorry.
me. So I owe you pizza rolls there.
And I'm gonna have like at my next thing, I'm getting a chocolate fountain thing. So that I know
You're so extra.
I love like company though. I love people being together. Like that's like
Like
my
you were
favorite
saying, you
thing.
get it from your mom because your mom is so extra, right?
My mom is so extra.
Yeah.
That's where my mom taught me everything I know. That's why I know how to throw a party. That's it.
Cool. Neat.
So
Hey,
if you
what-
need a
what's
party,
your,
please call Katie.
Yeah, Colgate's gonna be
What's
a
the
party planner
Instagram
too.
again for this?
Inside the Noise with,
With
a
a
Z.
Z.
Okay, I knew it was different.
Noise inside the noise.
So what did you guys do for New Year's?
I went to a party. Do you know Kelsey Lamb?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had like a little get together, so I went
Yeah,
over
we
there.
were gonna go to that, and then we had Mercy Lounge. We went to a Y2K throwback thing.
We did.
Yeah, it was cool. It was it was real low key, but we had a good time.
Cool.
Celebrated New Year's twice because the TV was an hour
Yeah.
ahead.
What?
So we like celebrated the East Coast, and then when it
then-
came to
Oh
us,
yeah, because they do
It's in New
They
York,
do
yeah.
3. They do one in Florida or one in New York, obviously, and then another in Louisiana. They did it in New Orleans
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
for
then
ours, and then
California.
California. Yeah, so you have to
That's
wait
crazy.
2 more hours for that one.
What did you do?
I had a lot of work to do when I got back from Florida, so I just stayed at home, drank a bottle of wine, worked on my computer,
Hey.
watched the ball
bougie,
drop.
bougie over here.
It was nice. I'm usually out, but like it was just kind of nice to, take
Be
it in the
chill,
air and-
especially after being home with your family for so long. Like I was gone for a
Yeah.
week, and I was like, I need to get back to Nashville because I feel very unproductive. Because there's nothing to do. Like I mean, we're all from Florida except for Jenna, and I feel like in Florida, it's just you're just all you have is your family there and a mall, and
A
like
mall.
if you find a hill to trash dump, like that's it. Like that's the epitome. And then there's Disney World in Orlando.
Yeah.
You have Disney World. I have
That's
nothing.
it. Well, we have like Sawgrass Mall is
We
like
have the
your thing to
Magic,
do.
which is a basketball team, and
Miami Heat
Disney
in Miami.
and Swamps in Orlando.
Yeah. It's always fun telling people you're from Florida because like
Yeah.
their first question is, "Have you ever seen an alligator?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, we used to swim with them."
Yeah.
Like it's not
The
a big
whole
deal.
At a
time
lake,
we
you
were
know.
down there, Grace was like, "When am I going to see an alligator?"
Yeah.
Like if you want to see one, I'll take you to the
You
swamps.
should've-
Over and just
You should have
go
taken her to
fish.
the alligator wrestling thing. You know those? They have those
Like Gatorland?
Yeah,
Gatorland.
Gatorland. Well, down by me, there's all Sawgrass. Like our mall is called Sawgrass Mall because
Yeah.
it's all like like the boondocks. Like it was originally like what is it called? Oh my gosh,
The Everglades.
Everglades.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
blanked completely. And that's what you do. You go on an airboat ride in the Everglades, and they
Yeah.
have gator wrestling, and that's like a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like the kid's like trying to stick its hand in the alligator's mouth, and it's like a dog.
Yeah.
Same
You
thing.
see if you touch its
Just
toe.
really scaly and
Ew,
has a lot more
no,
teeth.
No, thank you.
Oh, it's cool as shit though.
No, thank
And then
you.
if their arm gets like snapped in two, then it's on YouTube, and you're in the
Mhm.
background going,
Oh,
"Oh!"
remember
Dude
Disney
just lost his arm.
Disney World was where the kid got eaten by the
Yeah.
alligator, and then they took out the alligator out of Peter Pan ride for like
Oh,
6
yeah,
months.
that's right.
R.I.P.
I remember that.
Hmm.
First off, it's the parents' problem because
Mhm.
they weren't watching their kid, which
Yeah.
is very irresponsible.
And
because
Florida's
they were like
known-
trying to sue Disney and all this stuff, and I'm like, "What's your kid doing in a lake, Disney?" Like,
That's not even like swimmable water.
Yeah.
Like it's so disgusting out there.
It's got
It
the
is,
moss
it's so
on top
nasty.
and everything. It's so nasty.
Ew.
So that's Florida.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
can't
going-
wait for you to
no, but I was
not
just
going
like, I was
there.
like, "What do you want me
Come
to do?
on.
Pull over and you want to just like go stand by a lake, wait for an alligator? Like, what do you like? What do you
You
want
just
from
see
me?"
like the little eyes pop up out of the water.
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, there's one right there."
I'm sure if you just wait like 10 minutes, you'll see one.
Literally.
And then she was going crazy over the lizards. You know how lizards are like very like they're everywhere.
Lizards
in
not
Florida,
a
right?
thing here?
It's not a thing. I'm from
It's
Illinois.
not a thing.
I'm not into lizards.
Yeah.
I have no.
Grace
I
is
used to,
from
like,
Colorado, so it's just
Catch
like she
lizards
was.
and pet them.
No.
My
And
gra-
then
thought it was
it's like
so
throat
cool.
would like
was
you know
like,
the throat
lizards.
thing. It would be like
My
that.
grandma used to catch them and put them on her earlobes,
And
like
they would
earrings.
attach like
Yeah.
earrings.
If you tickle the side of their mouths, they open
Mhm.
their mouths, and then you just put them on
Wow,
the thing,
we are
and then
such
they
Floridians.
do this,
Yeah.
and then
We
you
just
go
got so
inside,
Did
excited.
bite them
you?
off.
Tell me if you agree with this, but once you left Florida, you realized how crazy Florida actually is,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and you know all the stories about Florida, like
The Florida man, yeah.
everything. But that's because Florida has open laws to all their like legal cases
Oh,
to
yeah.
be put out in the open. So like everybody else is just as crazy as we are. I mean, we're probably more crazy. But I'm saying is that other stuff happens in other states. It's just we are more open about it. Like you can literally Google anything and find it. So it's like we're not that crazy, but we are.
I've noticed that Floridians are like more laid back than most
Yeah.
other people from other states too. Like, I don't know like why. Like being living in New York City, I was just like that was night and day with like the attitude of a person.
Oh yeah.
It's just like whoa, you know what I mean? Like these people are raw. They tell you what that's on.
Am I- am I-
They're not afraid.
I
Am I-
lived
are,
in
we,
my-
are we allowed to curse on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
We are.
fine.
Okay, so one of the times I went to visit Justin in New York, we go to a bodega down the street, and of course, being from the South, you talk
Wait,
to everybody.
What is a bodega?
A bodega.
Oh, okay.
It's like you don't know what a
I've
bodega
learned
is?
so many
It's kind
new
of like
things.
it's kind of like a 7-Eleven in a building, but
I
it's
know nothing.
It usually has
very
like a
small.
Okay.
has like a
you can get
deli or
one,
something
yeah.
like that. You go get a sandwich or like
Got
a
it.
egg
See, I would
sandwich.
think you were from New York.
My mom's from New York.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
get anything at these bodegas. It's like a small grocery store.
Okay.
Because
So it's like a
grocery stores
Wawa.
are very
but-
Yeah,
It's like
it's
a
essentially a
buddy,
Wawa,
right?
but
Yeah,
like
okay.
way shittier.
Okay.
But
Cool.
so we go there, and being from the South, we talk to everybody. Like, you say, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Hey, how's your day going? Just talk and make conversation. So the guy's making my sandwich, and I was like, hey, man, how's your day going? Good, going pretty good. Just making your fucking sandwich. And I was like, okay, that's the end of that conversation.
Oh my god.
Good, I'm just making you fucking sandwich.
Making your fucking sandwich.
Yeah, like I feel like once I hit, so I didn't leave Florida. Like I would go vacation other places and stuff, but like when I lived in Miami is a nice 8-hour drive, like 8-hour drive to get out of the state. Like
Yeah.
Florida's very long. It's very long.
Yeah.
It's from what I hear, it's from the south, the most southern point of Florida
Into
to the
West.
top of the,
Panhandle.
the Panhandle. It's as long as Texas.
Oh my gosh, it's so like it feels like eternity, and all you get is like you're on concrete roads for forever if you're leaving.
They all look the same.
And I
Like,
remember
they're
I
highways,
first
they're
left and I
highways.
went and moved to Atlanta, and I lived in Atlanta, and I remember the Southern hospitality and everything. And I remember living there, and a lady came up to me and was like talking to me, and she was like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "I just met you. Why are you talking to me?" But that's just like in Miami, like people. It's kind of the New York of the South. Like Miami is very like, how do you look? How are you acting? Blah, blah, all that stuff. And I was it's very different. And when I first moved here, I think I told you this, I was sitting at a like restaurant, a nice restaurant, and I had this jacket on, and this girl kept looking at me, and I was like, if this I'm like going like hood, like hold my earrings, and she's looking at me, and I'm like, this girl's looking at me, my friend's sitting across me, she's like, you need to calm down. I'm like, I'm just saying, like, I was literally here for a week, and I was like, I'm just saying, like, she just needs to not be looking at me, like, whatever, and I got really hood on her, and then all of a sudden, the girl comes up after she was leaving, and she goes, "I'm so sorry for staring at you for so long. I just loved your jacket. Where did you get it from?" And I was like,
you were like, you almost died.
I was like, a little part of me died. I was like, Forever 21. And I was like, wow, I'm the biggest bitch in the world. I'm gonna go to hell.
And I love the fact that you're talking about Miami and earrings and stuff, because you got those big old Spanish Latina
Always.
girl earrings on.
Always, and these are the tiny ones. These
Yeah.
are not
Oh,
even
my
big.
sister.
I wear the big
So
ones.
I'm full blood Puerto Rican, but I listen to like rock music, so I guess I'm white. That's what my family always told me. But my sister is hood as all get out. Like she used to have big old ones that
My name's in it.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
it.
her name's Nancy, but they said Nana. And she's like anytime she calls you, it's like a lip smack before she starts speaking. It's like, "Hey Nancy, what's up? What you doing?" Like that. I'm just that's my. And
What you doing?
she is madly in love with Justin. She's loved Justin since
She
like
never
day
talked
one.
like that to me. She would just get like super white girl voice.
She would put on like her phone
Hey,
voice.
Justin.
"Hi Justin, how have you been?"
Phone voice.
I'm
Yeah.
good. I would call their house and be like, "Hey, is John there? Is this Justin? Yeah. Hey, Justin.
Hey, how you
Nancy."
been? Hey Nancy.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, Florida is a good time.
Yeah.
Just, it's nice to visit. I would not ever.
Yeah, I can't go back.
Maybe Orlando, because I lived in Deltona. You guys know Deltona. I lived in Deltona a little bit.
New
for, like,
Smyrna Beach,
6 months.
baby.
Yep. I lived there for a little bit, but it's like, it's just a lot of the same. And then moving here was just like so different. And it's Nashville's. I've never felt more at home than in Nashville.
I've always said Tennessee is one of the most beautiful states in the country, and I've always wanted to live here too. So it's awesome. You know, like I can't see myself ever moving back to Florida. I mean, it's nice to visit, but like after, like John said, after like 4 or 5 days, you're like ready to come back home.
You're like, okay, it's hot. There's a beach.
Yeah, it's too hot.
It's
No one
it's
goes
such
to
a
the
cool
beach.
city to be a part of too. Nashville.
Yeah.
Like everything that's happening here, everything that's
Yeah. There's a lot
like
of
a few years ago, I saw like a statistic. It was like, top vacation destination spots, and it was like Dubai, Nashville. Like that didn't make any sense to me at all.
At bachelorette parties.
I was like, that's a bit excessive, but no, I mean, it's. I've been here 7 years, so I've definitely seen the change in the city and stuff like that. So it's great to be a part of it, especially like with doing Bus Call and stuff. Like we're a part of the community now, and really, our whole goal is to bring local music back to Nashville, because a lot of people come here and all they get is they get Broadway. You know what I mean? And it's all covers and stuff like that. And people really want to see what's up and coming in Nashville, who's coming up, you know what I mean? What's the next generation?
Yeah.
And we actually did a bus call last year downtown. We started a showcase. It's every first Sunday of the month. It's like a concert style.
We just started that.
Yeah, so we have like 4
Second
bands,
floor.
and they actually play like full sets, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, versus like the 4 songs in a normal bus call. But we did a actual bus call with, I think it was like 10 artists, and we did it
We
at
did 10 bands in
yeah.
4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
It was nuts.
But when we did it, it was amazing to see the reaction of the tourists and the people coming into town, because they were walking up to us and they were like, "What is this? Like, what's going on?" We're like, "Oh, this is Bus Call." They're like, "This is amazing. Like, we've never seen
real
anything
Nashville,
like this." Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like what you guys do, I mean, Jenna, you can agree with me on this from watching everything. I feel like that you guys are bringing the real Nashville, because I feel like everybody thinks of Nashville and they think of Broadway and it's all cover stuff. But for me as a music lover, like you said, everybody wants to be the one that found the artist. Everybody wants to be the one that's like, oh yeah, I saw them in this little rinky-dink bar.
I saw them when. Yeah.
I saw them for free. I just walked in and they were playing this one song. I mean, I have so many artist stories of that like I'm just like, I remember the first time I met Adam Doliak or whatever, and it's just like all the same stuff. So
And it's cool too, like just the people that we've met in town. Like you're good friends with all of them, like Jay Hartley, Ferranti, all these guys. Like I met them when they first moved to town, and they weren't doing anything, you know. And now they're getting on these playlists on Spotify and all these big things.
People say Nashville's like a 10-year town, but I think it's more like a 5 or 6 year town now. I think you could get there a lot faster.
Well, we always talk about it. I
Yeah.
think it's about how much you work it.
That's
Oh,
true.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. You have to put in the work.
I feel like you're killing it,
Me?
Jenna. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Trying.
I love these. I was actually yesterday. I sat and I listened to about 5 of them.
Which one was your favorite?
Eric was pretty funny.
Oh,
Eric's like a
Girls
really good
and
buddy of
Guys.
mine. So,
I think I listened to that one too. It was with you too, right?
Yeah.
and then I listened. I really liked Alan's. Alan's was really cool. Just to kind of
Yeah,
hear.
he wants to come back on once a month, but he doesn't ever listen unless he's on it.
But just to
Of
hear
course.
like his insight and stuff like that. Like he's a smart dude. Like
Oh,
he
he's-
is very
he's-
business
He
savvy.
brought me in.
Yeah.
That's how I met Jenna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
He also posted this video of, you remember? Oh, you weren't here. The night we did the listening room inside the Noize night, the
That's
takeover.
fine. Yeah.
I wore the skirt. It had a huge slit that like.
Mm.
Yeah, and Alan thought it was like the biggest joke of the night, so he took this video of my like leg going up to it, and he put on like some like sexy music, and I was like, "Boy, if you don't get away," like so you see this, and you just see me going, "Boy, if you don't get away, I'll pop you in the face."
Oh, man.
And he was like, 2018 recap, the best moment of the year was Katie Cap's leg coming out to play or whatever, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't."
That's
It
good.
was-
Oh my
He's
God.
the funny like. Such a good guy and really supports really good music and
And that's
artists.
what's great too about this city, and you guys could probably agree with this, but like it's such a community.
Right.
You know, I've met like people from LA and stuff like that, and LA is a lot more cutthroat.
Yeah.
Where it's just very cold. Out here, everybody wants to see everybody succeed, and that's what's been amazing with Bus Call. Like, we were kind of afraid that it was going to clash with like Whiskey Jam, because we're like the only other full band showcase. But Ward was 110%. He's like, dude, anything you guys need, let me know.
Yeah,
We'll work
the first
together.
2 months was nerve wracking for me because I've known Ward for years, you know, and just being with Tin Roof, and he was a bartender there, and I used to just go. I mean, when I first moved here 5 years ago, we were going to Whiskey Jam every Monday, and we just got to know each other, and I didn't really talk to him about starting Bus Call. I just kind of did it, and then he texted me one day. He's just like, "Hey man, dude, like I'm hearing about Bus Call. This is awesome, man. Like, good job. And if you ever need anything, let me know." And I was just like, oh man,
But,
that
like,
was
I don't
such a
feel
relief because I was so worried about him like thinking that it was competition. But we're on a Wednesday night.
Yeah,
We
it's
don't touch
not.
Mondays or Thursdays, and that was something that I thought about. You know what I mean? And
And when you guys started, they weren't doing Thursdays. So
No,
it was
they-
just Monday and Wednesday.
yeah, that's true.
Or just
That's true.
Monday.
Yeah.
But,
it was just Monday.
Yeah.
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 They were meant Wednesday.
But it's awesome, man. Now we kind of like if I ever see somebody that stands out, or if he sees somebody that stands out, we just kind of text each other the names and we kind of reach out, and it's a cool relationship. He texted me the other day. He goes, "Hey man, when are we gonna like hang out at the new office and drink some LaCroix?" I was like, "I'll get on that. Sorry, I'm busy right now, but I'll be over there." But yeah, it's a cool relationship, and it's awesome, man. So and like John was saying, man, it's like if you're not lifting each other up here in this town, you're not gonna last anymore. Like that's how it is here.
There's no egos.
There's
Like,
no egos.
Yeah.
If you have one, then you're not gonna last very long, and that's just the way it is. If you're not like, and me starting Bus Call, that was kind of my message to everybody that was helping me. It was kind of like, hey, help me out. I'll help you out any way I can. Let's just keep lifting each other up, and that's what I tell people after they play Bus Call. They're just like, man, thank you so much. That was so cool. And I'm like, hey, let's continue lifting each other up. That's what this is all about. That's what this town's all about. That's what's gonna make us.
When
all
you get your
successful.
#1 single, come back here and play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Release
Yeah.
party.
And that's the
Yes.
thing, like it's we're on our first year, but I could see all these artists in 5 years being like way up there,
Mhm.
and then we're having them back for
Yeah. They're alumni then.
yeah,
Yep.
That's so
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see, and I'm excited for the future and see where it goes. And now that I do, I just got a promotion with Tin Roof. I do all the entertainment for Tennessee, California, and Alabama now.
Woo!
And I do all the bookings and events and stuff like that. And so we're talking about implementing it at other Tin Roofs as well. But we're kind of in the early
Or-
stages of that.
Yeah,
Like
there's
a
also
Bus
been
Call
like
tour.
exactly.
Yeah.
We've tossed around
Yeah.
the idea of doing a Bus Call tour.
That'd be sick. I'd buy
So-
tickets. I'd go on the road. I'd fangirl about that.
Yeah, we're kind
Go on the road.
of playing around with the idea, so we'll see what happens with that. But
It's great too working with Tin Roof, that it's such a staple in Nashville,
Mhm.
and they are 110% behind everything that we come up with and think of, and they're just like, dude, go do it. Whatever you think, go do it.
Yeah, whatever
And so
you
it's
need from us,
great.
like,
Yeah.
they're just it's like a family, man, and it's my favorite bar in Nashville. You know, before I even moved here, that was the first bar I ever went to. Was on Demonbruen, and I was just like, man, this is cool.
Well, they even have one in Orlando. That's the one
Yeah.
I used to go to all the time. That's how I knew it.
They've expanded to about 17 locations.
Wow.
In the last 6 years, 5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our confessions.
Go for it. You started off.
I don't know it yet.
You got a lot
Confessions?
of
What is this
I feel like we're just like telling so many stories.
What's
Like,
a
we're just-
confession?
So
This is story time with Jenna and Katie.
off the record confessions. You have to confess something embarrassing or weird.
Oh yeah. Or weird.
I'll give you two. All right. So the one I was talking to you guys about earlier. So I was at Tin Roof, and it was a Monday night. So it was or excuse me, no, it was Tuesday night. So it was Revival, but it was like a really big stacked bill. So it was like shoulder to shoulder packed. Well, I was in the back where the green room and Tin Roof touch, right by the stairs. Guy comes up and asks, where's the stage at? So I was like, well, you can't go this way because it's way too packed, so you're not going to be able to get through. If you go around the other way, go through the bathroom, you can get to the stage way quicker. And he just kind of was like, well, thanks. And then turns around. Turns out the guy was blind. So I gave directions to a blind guy, and I found that to be very, very funny.
That's great.
And then probably like a month ago, I was riding a Lime scooter home. I was at 5 Points. We were actually all watching football. We're in like a fantasy football league.
We've been drinking and watching football since noon.
And you got on a Lime scooter.
At 6 p.m.
I felt the
He
laugh.
was literally going down the street to his house.
Yeah, I live 8 blocks from
Where were we?
5
We were
Points.
At, Red Door.
Yeah,
in
we
East
were Red Door,
Nashville,
and
he
he's
lives literally
like 8 blocks. Yeah,
a block away.
Why don't you just walk?
I saw the Lime scooter. Looked like a good idea.
He's
When
like,
he's
opportunity.
intoxicated.
He's lazy.
So
It's
I'm
good.
riding it home, and I have my headphones in. I'm jamming. I'm cruising. And about 2 houses down from my house, the Lime scooter just stops. And I was going like a good, and come to find out, this actually happens a lot to people.
Yeah, it just
But
died
it
on
just
me.
like died on me, and I was going probably a good 12 miles an hour. I flew off this Lime scooter
Front foot.
face first into the street, and like scorpion, like my legs went up. So I actually ended up, if you can see, I broke my tooth,
He chipped a little.
and
bit.
my tooth went through my lip.
Oh.
So
Jesus! Ugh.
Oh God!
Why would you
So-
show
It's
that?
so bad. You wouldn't even know
So
if you didn't show
that
us.
that happened, and I got up, and of course, like I'm in shock from the fall, and I mean, have you ever cut your lip open?
Yeah.
It bleeds like nobody's
Oh, yeah.
business.
Lip cuts. Oh yeah.
And so it's like dripping off my beard. Like I was wearing my Titans jersey. My Titans jersey is just red
Massacre.
from blood.
Right.
I go in the house. I'm washing my face off. I realize I have nothing to clean this wound with. Go to my neighbor's house. So the house that I live in is a big older house. I live on the side. There's a girl that lives in the front, and then there's 2 girls that live upstairs. So I go to the front. I knock on her door. She opens the door, and all she sees is me just bleeding profusely with just blood all
Just like,
over
please
me.
Stay outside.
And we live on the east side, so her
She's like, "Did you
immediate
get
thought is,
mugged?"
I got mugged. She's like, oh my God, did you just get mugged? She's going for her gun. Like, I was like, no, I fell off a Lime scooter. My lip was so swollen, I couldn't talk. So I was like, I fell off a Lime scooter. And the scooter's still sitting in the middle of the street. So it was pretty I had a fat lip for probably about a week and a half.
That's your
not
new
the
rap
first
name.
time John
Fat
fell
lip.
on his face. though.
Yeah, I like that. Fat lip.
Fat lip.
Instead of what was the other one?
Johnny Diamond.
No, fat lip.
Johnny Fat Lip.
Johnny Fat Lip.
Johnny Fat Lip. So those
don't
are
wanna
those
know
are my
what
embarrassing
that is.
stories, I guess you could say.
So my weird story, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's nothing recent, but like this is like the weirdest thing because he was talking about weird things that happened at Tin Roof. I'll tell you one. So I was at Tin Roof and I was ordering a drink. I was sitting in the corner and this girl comes up to me. She's kind of drunk. And I'm like getting ready to do a shot. And I'm like, all right, sweet. I'm going to do a shot of tequila. And I was just like, she was standing next to me. And I was just like, hey, do you want a shot? And she was just like, yeah, okay. And I was just like, all right, cool. So I was just like, hey, Logan, give me another shot of tequila. This girl wants a shot. And he's like, okay. She's had it a lot. And I was just like, oh, okay. Should I not give it to her? And he was just like, no, she's fine. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, hey, cheers. My name's Justin. Nice to meet you. Like, thanks for coming in Tin Roof. And she's like, okay, cheers. And she downs the tequila, goes up. And the little shot, the paper shot cups they
Yeah.
have? She downs it. And then in one fluid motion, she goes back down and just fills it back up with pink puke all the way to the top. Doesn't spill a drop, sets it down, and then says thanks and walks away.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
I wasn't upset. I was just blown away, and I was impressed. I was impressed at the fact that she filled that cup to the brim, and it was nasty, obviously, but didn't spill anything. Slid it back to the bartender and everything, and then just said thanks and walked out. And I was just like, my jaw was to the floor.
Slid it back. Why didn't you just throw it away?
Yeah.
She was drunk. She didn't know. She thought she was cool. She was just like, and then she just slid it back, and then she had like the most cockiest face. That she just did that. I just was like, thanks. And walked away.
Yeah, that was me.
Logan were just like,
That's what I did.
That was me. I did that.
But that's probably like a good
man.
weird story that I always tell about Tin Roof because it's funny.
Let me think.
Any confessions, Jenna?
Do you have any from Tin Roof?
Me?
Everybody has a Tin Roof story.
I don't get
I have
that much though. I
What's
really
the
don't. You
weird
guys
Tin
never
Roof
see me
story?
drink. I never drink.
I don't know if I've told. I used to go to Tin Roof all the time in college. I was like 19 going to Tin Roof here, and then I.
Boo.
Got a rebel over here.
Just kidding.
But I got really drunk there a few years ago. It was like a snow day. And
Oh, nice.
I
Snow days are the best.
Yeah, they're the
in
best.
Nashville.
Everyone goes out drinking. So I went down there and I'd taken a lot of shots, and I was with my roommate and another girl I didn't know too well. And like Cole Swindell and them were all at the bar, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, let's go talk to them." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll go buy them shots." So we go start taking shots with them, and I used to intern with Chase Rice. I think I'm really funny a lot of the time, and I'm not. I think I was
the three of us. I feel like Justin thinks he's funny too sometimes, and he's.
Oh, I'm hilarious.
We just go
No,
like.
I'm just kidding.
But
It's a dad joke.
Got to a point where I was like, all right, this isn't funny anymore. I need to walk out. And so I leave Tin Roof on Demonbruen, and it's freezing cold out, and I walk to Taco Bell on West End,
I missed that Taco Bell.
and it was closed, I think, or like you weren't supposed to go inside, but they let me inside, and I cried because they were out of soft shell tacos.
Oh my God.
And then my roommate had to come pick me up.
That's awesome.
And I didn't believe it was her, and she had to come inside and get me. And the Taco Bell guy gave me his Taco Bell team jacket because it was freezing cold.
Oh my God,
and I had
dude.
no jacket.
That Taco Bell is awesome.
So I have a Taco Bell jacket that has a taco on the back that says Taco
Wait,
Bell
which
team.
is this? The one on
That's
West
a
End?
that's
The
a
one that
win
used
for
to be
me.
at-
That's not a bad night. That's a win.
The one that used to be. Why did they get rid of the one that was right on?
That
was right
That's
by
the one
Losers.
she's
But
talking
it was
about,
a pretty
right?
far
But they got rid
walk,
of
and
it.
It was
Why?
cold.
I don't know.
It was making so much money.
That was like the,
I had
yeah,
soft
it was
shell
great.
tacos, so I cried, and then my roommate was
Cookout's
like,
got all their business.
"Get in the car,
Yeah.
Jenna." And I was like, she like called, and I'm like, "It's not really you. You're not really here." She's like, "No, it is me.
You're a
Get in the
predator
car."
trying to get me.
Not getting in your
Yeah.
car, creep.
For this. That's hilarious.
Terrible time.
Speaking of Taco Bell, mine was from Taco Bell. Well, it wasn't from Taco Bell. We were so we were sitting, we were all drunk. One of my friends was driving, like they were the sober one, designated driver. And I was sitting in the back of a car, and I was like, wow, I really have to pee. And Taco Bell was closed. So like you can't, this is at the one that was the same one that you're
Okay.
talking about. And there was a dumpster right there. Yeah, it's really weird. I was drunk, I didn't care. And I, like, when you already break the seal and you're drunk, you have to pee whenever you have to pee.
When you gotta go,
I
you gotta
wasn't
go,
gonna
you know?
pee in the car.
So you
So
went-
I got out of the car and I went behind the dumpster and peed behind the dumpster and did like the girl squat.
Yeah.
And then was like,
I always feel bad for girls that have to pee because they
See?
have to like do way more than a guy does.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
little
man.
sister just moved here from our we're from a town of like 500 people in Illinois, so a small town. All she's been doing is like road loading and like whatever on weekends, and then they just all pee outside. First week in Nashville, we went to
Wait, what's road loading?
Road loading?
that's what I literally just went.
So, like-
and then
What
I was
is
like,
that?
am I stupid
Oh my
for
goodness.
asking?
You
Like,
like-
what that is?
It's
I
like,
but like,
you all-
everybody agreed. They were
you
like,
all-
okay, yeah.
We're all from Florida.
You all drive around like in the country and you just drink. It sounds dangerous. It is dangerous.
So drinking and driving.
road loading, or you call it like you're checking their crops.
It's like cabrewing, but road loading.
Yeah.
What the heck
It's
is
a-
brewing?
Canoeing and drinking.
Yeah, wow.
Drinking and canoeing.
I've never.
That's
done
a thing
that.
here in
Because
Brewing.
I will tip myself over. That's why I don't do it. I'm very Kath is very. We don't. Kath was at the Christmas party.
Okay.
She was ready to go. I was like, no.
Anyways.
But Carrie's first week here, we went out onto Demonbruen and parked across the street, and we were walking over, and she just swats and pees outside. I'm like, Carrie, we're in the city. You can't do that anymore. She was drunk, and she's like, but why not? And I'm like, you're gonna get arrested. Please get up.
I caught a girl peeing on my tire one time. She sat on my front tire because I have a big truck, and she sat on my front tire and just peed all over the rim. And I was just like watching her because we were downtown in that little alley in between Brew House and Tequila Cowboy.
Oh gosh.
And she thought she was being smooth, but I had just gotten off of work bartending, and I was coming to my car, and she's just sitting there, panties down, peeing, and I was just like, "Hey, what are you peeing on my truck for?" And she's just like, "I'm not peeing." And she pulls up her panties, and I'm like, "I clearly saw you peeing on my truck.
No, it was
The
me.
puddle is literally coming towards you." And she's like, "No, it wasn't me. I wasn't peeing." And then just as she was walking away, I was like, "How do you just deny this? I literally just saw you." Oh, it was so
Probably
frustrating. But I was just like, hey, that's not the worst thing I've seen downtown. So
Drunk girls are like one of my favorite things in the world. They are so funny.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you another funny story. So we were at downtown Tin Roof, another Tin Roof story.
Oh.
And it was me, my buddy Zach DiSilvestro, and the artist that he works with, Wayne Harper.
This is hilarious.
And so we're at one of the tables, and Zach goes to get some shots. So there's one drunk girl comes up, and Wayne has a full sleeve tattoo on his arm. She walks up, grabs his arm. She's like, "Oh my God, I love your tattoos. They're so hot." And he's like, "Oh, thanks." And then another girl comes up. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. My girlfriend's drunk. It's her birthday." And then we're like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." So they start walking away. And of course, me in my drunken state, I stand up. I'm like, "Well, I hope you get that birthday sex." And then the girl that was like, my friend's drunk, she comes back. And she's like, "Who's
offended?"
Immediately offended. Comes like charges, beeline stores the table.
But just
Yeah.
he yelled something, and I'm just gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beeline stores the table. Comes
What'd
up.
you
She's
say to
like,
my girlfriend?
"Who said that?" We were like, "What?" She's like, "Who said that?"
I'm bartending it.
And
like, right now.
of course, we're like, "No,
I'm
that
behind
wasn't
the bar.
us, whatever." And she's like, "That's my," like, it was her actual girlfriend. Like, they were like dating.
Oh.
So she's like, "That's my fucking girlfriend. Nobody talks to her like that." Mind you, Zach is coming back from the bar with the shots. Zach has no idea what's going on. He walks into this chaos, puts the shots down, and the girl's like, "Was it you? Did you say it?" Zach thinks this girl's hitting on him. So he's like, "You're damn right I said it." This chick decks Zach square in the
He has
face.
no idea what just happened.
And all of us are at the table like, "Oh, shit." So she starts wrestling with Zach. And Zach's not a very big guy. So
No,
she's
Zach
taking
is
him to
not.
town.
Yeah, she's
Justin comes around the bar, just literally bear hugs this chick, picks her up, and just takes her out the front door.
Gosh.
And Zach's in the back like, "You ripped my shirt, you bitch. This is worth more than your life." Oh, my God. It was amazing.
he went super New York on her. real
Very
quick.
New York.
Oh,
He's
very,
from...
yeah.
Oh,
Did
my
you know
goodness.
Zach?
It was
I
just
don't
so
think
funny
so.
because
If you met Zach, you
he
would
had
understand.
no idea.
If you
what
meet
was
Zach,
going
you'll
on.
know Zach.
Yeah.
He walked into a hostile environment
And
and
it
just
was like,
thought it was
yeah.
like everybody was chill hanging out, and he was like, "Yeah, it was me."
Yeah, damn right it was me. Bam.
And then wham! Oh man,
Man.
that's a great story.
Ooh,
Well,
shit.
oh,
Jesus, John, don't
gonna
break
break
it.
everything before the
Sorry.
podcast's even over.
I'm very clumsy.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm gonna be at Bus Call tonight. You guys
Yes,
Bus Call
we have our
next
first
Wednesday.
bus call tonight.
Every
Woo.
Wednesday night in Midtown, Demonbruen, Tin
From
Roof.
8 to 10, and
to
then
11.
every
8 to 11.
8 to 11.
Jesus.
And I'm the host, God.
And first Sunday of every month downtown from 7:30 to 10:30.
And our first one on Sunday is going to be this upcoming Sunday, and Drew Dixon is headlining.
Awesome.
With
So-
Jay Hartley, Ryan Larkins, and Steph Nash.
Cool.
It's gonna be
And
a,
where can they follow you guys on social media and stuff? How does an artist go and submit their stuff to you
Yeah,
guys?
so
to be
there's
considered?
many ways you can do it. You can either go on our Instagram at Bus Call Nashville, go on Facebook at Bus Call Nashville, or you can go on our website, buscallnashville.com,
everything's Bus Call Nashville.
or you can just message
easy.
us on our Instagram. That's the easiest way.
Slide in the DMs.
Me and John look at that and all the time, and yeah, you know, we always ask to submit a live video of you guys playing with your band, and you know, usually if you can hold your own, we'll book you.
You don't want me doing that. I used to play tuba in middle school.
Oh,
I
please
played the
do.
drums from 5th grade to senior year.
I
Drums
wanted
and
to play
tuba.
drums. I have no rhythm.
I was
so.
demoted to the cowbell and tambourine.
Tenor saxophone over here.
That's
Woo woo. Last
Those
chair,
two
baby.
never in the band.
I was tuba because I was the only kid able to pick it up,
There you go.
and I got the lips for it. So what up?
Hey.
Okay, that's really weird.
I was
okay.
a chorus boy. No
Aww.
band. No band for me.
I don't know if you guys know, but Justin sings like an angel.
Okay, well, thank
Okay.
you guys for listening, and you
Yes.
can follow us at
Inside the Noize with the Z.
with a Z. And Jenna, what's your
Jay Heidemann.
Jay? We need to update that. You're Brandon. We gotta brand you. And mine is Katie Kaup.
But if you change it, I'm
Kaupp is the
confused.
last name. Nah, look at you.
Fine, whatever.
So thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.